All right, let's talk about a problem that, let's be honest, we've all faced. Total project chaos. You know the feeling. You have this brilliant idea, but somehow it gets completely swallowed up by missed deadlines, confusing goals, and just a mess. But what if there was a map, a way to navigate right through that storm? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into today.
Yeah, I see you nodding. We've all been there, right? That sinking feeling when a project is just drifting. No one's really sure what they're supposed to be doing or even why they're doing it in the first place. It is so frustrating, and it happens all the time.
And these are the classic warning signs. It usually starts with fuzzy, unclear goals. Then you're constantly fighting for people, time, or money. Keeping everyone on the same page feels like a full-time job in itself. And before you know it, deadlines are just suggestions, and every little change creates this ripple effect of chaos. Sound familiar?
So, how do we fight back against this chaos? Well, there's actually a proven method out there, one that's designed specifically to bring structure and clarity to the wonderfully messy world of projects. It's called PRINCE2. The best way to think of it is as a playbook, a guide for getting your project from point A to point B without losing your mind. Okay, so this is the official definition, but let's break down why it's so powerful. It points out two absolutely crucial things. First, a common vocabulary. This is huge. It means everyone, from the top brass to the people doing the work, is speaking the same language. No more confusion. And second, it's outcome-focused. This isn't about just ticking off tasks on a list. It's about delivering real, actual value.
And you have to get this part, PRINCE2 is not some rigid, one-size-fits-all rulebook that you have to follow to the letter. Not at all. It's a flexible framework. You take the parts that make sense and you tailor them to fit your project. Whether you're launching a massive new piece of software or just organizing a small community event, the core ideas can be adapted.
So what really makes PRINCE2 tick? What's its secret sauce? Well, it's all built on a handful of core principles. We're going to look at two of the most powerful ones, the ones that really change the game for how projects are run. Think of them as the simple, non-negotiable rules you need to follow. First up, and honestly, this might be the most important one of all, continued business justification. All this means is that at every single point in the project, you have to ask one simple, powerful question. Is this still worth doing? This keeps everyone laser-focused on the why behind the project. It stops you from pouring good money and time into something that just isn't valuable anymore. Now, this second principle, this is a total game changer for teams. It's called manage by exception. Here's how it works. The senior leaders, the project board in PRINCE2 terms, set up clear guardrails for the project team. These are called tolerances, and they cover things like time, budget, and scope. As long as the team stays within those guardrails, they have the freedom to just get the work done. The board only steps in if it looks like things are about to go off course. And you can really see the difference here. We're moving away from that soul-crushing micromanagement, the constant check-ins and needing approval for every tiny decision. In the PRINCE2 way, you set the boundaries, say a 5% budget wiggle room, and then you trust your team. This creates a culture of empowerment. Senior managers aren't bogged down in the weeds, and the project team has the autonomy they need to actually deliver. It's a win-win. Okay, so the principles we just talked about, that's the why. But PRINCE2 also gives us the how. It comes with a set of really practical tools, they call them practices, that help a project manager answer all the big, tough questions that pop up every single day. And just look at how this toolkit frames everything. It's not about filling out forms, it's about answering fundamental questions. The business case is your constant reality check. Are we still on the right track? Quality makes you define what good actually looks like before you start. Risk is all about looking ahead, what could trip us up, but also where are the hidden opportunities. And the issues practice gives you a plan for dealing with those curveballs that you know are coming. It's just incredibly practical. So we've got the guiding principles, and we have our toolkit. Now let's look at the actual journey. PRINCE2 maps out the entire life cycle of a project into a clear, logical flow that takes you from that first spark of an idea all the way to a finished, delivered product. Here's a super simple look at that journey. First, you start by just making sure the idea is even worth pursuing before you sink a ton of resources into it. Then, and this is so important, you run the project in manageable stages, not one giant, terrifying leap. At the end of each stage, the board reviews everything and gives the green light for the next one. It builds in these natural checkpoints to keep risk low. And finally, you have a formal closing process where you hand everything over and, crucially, capture what you learned so you can be even better next time. So, after all of this, why does it actually matter? Why should you even care about a framework like this?
Well, it's simple. A brilliant idea without a solid plan is, well, it's just a dream, isn't it? This is all about giving your vision the backbone it needs to actually become a reality.
And here's the bottom line. PRINCE2 is not about creating more bureaucracy or paperwork. Not at all. It's about building a solid, reliable bridge that can carry your brilliant idea over the chaotic waters of project delivery. It gives you the clarity and the control you need to get from one side of the idea to the other, a successful, tangible reality.
So, to wrap it all up, let's just boil it down to the essentials. PRINCE2 gives everyone a common language to work with. It keeps you relentlessly focused on business value, the why. It empowers your teams by trusting them to work within clear boundaries. It helps you get out ahead of risks, and it breaks down huge, overwhelming projects into small, controllable stages. It really is a powerful recipe for success.
You know, every great company, every new product, every big change, it all starts as a project. And having a framework like PRINCE2 doesn't just help you manage that project, it gives you the confidence to truly lead it. So the real question is, what's your next big idea? And are you ready to bring it to life?